Well, welcome to our channel. This is Jim from RV4x40.com,
And I'm Chris.
and we're glad to have you with us today. We were fortunate recently to be able to attend a rally in Wellington, Texas. If you go looking for it, it's actually somewhat near Amarillo, the closest big town. But this was for the RV Nomads festival, if you will. And this was a movie creation that was started last year. No, it actually was started earlier this year. That was designed to highlight the modern RV nomads, which are primarily people of all ages, but people who are living full-time in a motorhome or a trailer or whatever you have, some form of mobile living arrangement. And they come in all sizes and all shapes. People of all ages are doing this, and it's a relatively modern phenomenon from a standpoint of there are younger people doing it, there are people that are still working in some capacity, people raising young children, people even having children still while they're full-time in an RV. So that's a little bit different situation than we're in.
Yes, for us, we waited until retirement to go full-time in our RV. We sold our home, we sold many belongings, and still have one storage unit of special memorabilia. And we travel full time, and we're visiting different states and hope to get to all of them in the 2 years.
Except Hawaii. We've decided not to try to RV to Hawaii.
Yeah, good move. Anyway, we're enjoying our time with family where we can live close for a period of time, still in our RV. We have a daughter in Texas and a daughter in Indiana, so that allows us to actually live in their area for a period of time. But mostly we're traveling, visiting the many sites along our beautiful, beautiful country roads.
So what we wanted to talk about today is a little bit of a review of the event in Wellington. This was a first time this organization and these people, as far as I know, have never participated in establishing and putting on a major event like this. And all things considered, it went extremely well. Wellington is a very small town in the panhandle of Texas, about 2,200 people if I have the population right. And it's a cotton farming community as much as anything else. That's their major crop out there. But they have a wonderful, I'm not sure if it's a city park or a county park or fairgrounds or whatever, but there is a fairgrounds there. I believe it's city owned, but it was certainly a large facility. It had plenty of room for parking, although there were not any particular RV type sites there. It was all what's called boondocking, which means there are no services. You have a place to park, and that's essentially it. There was one park, I think, north of town that had some reserved spots for people that either wanted or needed more of a full hookup situation. But we were there in our self-contained motorhome. We had internal water, a 100-gallon tank of that, and tanks to hold our black and gray water effluent, if you will. And we were running off of solar power for electricity. We did run the generator once or twice because the sun wasn't always shining, and we needed more power than perhaps a battery bank could provide. But other than some rain that came, it was actually a very, very pleasant situation and perfectly usable as far as RVs are concerned. We came in on Wednesday. The original arrival date was Thursday, but they put out a request for anyone who could get there on Wednesday to do so, and we did. So we parked ahead of the rain. Unfortunately, we have a very heavy motorhome. It's a diesel, what's called a Class A, so it's 33,000 pounds by itself. And we were parked in an area which didn't have particularly good drainage, and the soil there was a clay that's commonly called gumbo, if you're familiar with Texas soils. In any event, after it rained, there were a bunch of tracks in front of our RV, so when it came time to get it out, we actually got most of the way out and then got stuck. And some gentlemen there from the organization that were putting this on had a four-wheel drive Ford, I believe it was a pickup, I'm not totally sure about that. But they helped pull us out. You'll see a video here in a little bit of us getting pulled the rest of the way out of that particular spot. So what did you think overall about the event?
Well, we learned a lot, met a lot of wonderful people. We had that opportunity to, since our area was pretty muddy, we had a wonderful shuttle service which brought us to wherever we needed to be. And it was very nicely planned. A lot of musical groups that provided entertainment in the evenings, and able to meet people and doing different types of things as they're full-time in their RVs. There were a number of people as well who still had a home and still were just spending maybe a few months in their travels. And so a lot of people, a lot of different experiences, and we thoroughly enjoyed our time there.
Now, one of the highlights was the movie RV Nomads. This was the world premiere of that in terms of public showing of it, and it was for the group that was there. Although they did show it for the community after we had all pretty well left, they did do an open showing for the community where they could come in and see why all these crazy people are in town. One of the interesting sidelights, I ran into a constable for the county as they were pulling me out and was talking to him. And he commented that this was the largest group he'd ever seen in town, where by now he didn't have 3 or 4 people in jail. So it's just a testament to the type of people that are in the RVing community and the type of people that were there. Very well behaved, very mannerly, very polite. The town was wonderful. They were very gracious. They provided somehow this shuttle service through one of the school districts that's in that area. The local restaurants added on hours, probably added on staff. They certainly should have had a good time in terms of their sales for that weekend, much more than normal. There were, as near as I can tell, about 400 extra people in town, give or take, that were there just for this weekend. So it was, I'm sure, a good boost for the local economy as well. What did you think of the movie?
Well, I was enthralled by the stories of the individuals who were part of the movie. And it seems like there was such a good variety of reasons why that folks had decided to live full time in a mobile unit, an RV, and different experiences, different reasons, different ways that many of them were earning income as they traveled and were mobile. So it was very enlightening to see the variety. I tend to think that most people who are full-time in their RV might be retired like us, even though we certainly meet families along the way with children and homeschooling going on. But I think that was the big thing for me, was to see the variance in the type of families that are doing.
Right. The movie was extremely well done, especially when, as far as I know, most of the people involved in this project, maybe with the exception of the film editor after all the filming was done, but most of the people had never done this kind of production before. Interesting thing for me, because I'm kind of an avid YouTube follower. I follow people from various kind of hobbies of mine, RVing being one of them, and I got a chance to meet some of the people I've watched on YouTube in some cases for a couple of years, and that was really an interesting thing. Other people that I had not seen on YouTube had extremely interesting stories, and that's part of the movie. While we're not kind of at liberty to show you the movie at this point, we don't have it even as of yet, but it will be released later on in November, is my understanding, and be available for people to have access to it, and later on it may be available in some other venues as well as some of the private websites. So kind of keep tuned and do an internet search about RV Nomads, the movie, and you'll find some information about that, I'm sure. In my case, I had followed some of this stuff, again, via YouTube, where they were posting information about the filming process, about the people who were being interviewed. And so I was interested in that from my personal standpoint. Don't exactly know these people because you haven't met them face to face, but if you followed them for a little bit on some of their YouTube adventures, you get a sense that you know who they are and what they're doing. And so there were several of those people involved in the movie and involved in the production. Others I was not particularly familiar with, but they had extremely interesting stories, and it's going to be an interesting thing if you're interested at all in understanding about what this lifestyle is all about. When this movie comes out, I encourage you to watch it. It's going to be an eye-opener for a lot of people about just what this movement is all about.
Well, I hope you enjoy the video, and we'll look forward to visiting with you again.
Thanks for watching this. We appreciate your time given to us to watch this channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, there's a subscribe button down below where you can see our video adventures as they come out. There's also a bell icon there. If you click on that, you will be able to get a email notification when we post a new video, so you won't miss anything as it comes down the pike. In the meantime, as you join us on the highways and byways of America, remember, keep her between the ditches. That's the safe place to be.